Hello everybody, welcome back once again to another Lutys chainsaw mod. I've been talking about this CS580, the one that I've just rebuilt. Got it going really good now. I've had a few runs with it. Cuts really well. The one I built last time was another Dyno model, this one, which you'll see. This is the one that pushes 8 horsepower, and this other one I've finished building it, and I mean, this one's running well, but as you'll see, there's no muffler on it. Now, that should probably tell you about what I've been doing, to be honest. I started building mufflers quite a while ago, to be honest with you, and I set my dyno up yesterday. Now, I calibrated this dyno on a known 3 horsepower chainsaw, Parker, 58cc Parker, which supposedly puts out I think it's 3 or 3.1 horse. And originally, when I built this, I set it up so that it would show 3 horsepower on the dyno. Okay, that's how I initially calibrated the system. Now, I have a lot of people, well, some people give me some stick, and you know, at the end of the day, like I say to them, you know, this is just a hobby. This is, I built the dyno to test out my modifications that I do, but I thought to myself, well, it would be handy if I could find another way of calibrating where I haven't got to put a saw on, a bit more of an accurate way of doing it. So before I put this chainsaw on, I came up with an idea, and I've made this. So this is basically, it's an old drivelet, and I've welded a socket onto the old drum. It bolts onto the guide bar in place of the chainsaw, and I put a bar on this socket that's welded onto it, and I hang this weight, which is a 3-pound weight, on the bar 1 foot away, so it's basically measuring feet. This is 3 pounds. So the dyno, then I set the dyno to 3 pounds, or 3 pounds feet. So that's how I've done it. Okay, so I recalibrated this before I put this on the dyno. Okay. Now, to be fair, it wasn't far out at all like this dyno. It was pretty well bang on, like, but I've calibrated it. Okay. And it's mainly because of all the bloody skeptics I get. Oh, you can't prove this, you can't prove that. I don't want to prove anything. You know, if people don't want to listen to me, then that's fine, it doesn't bother me. But I thought, you know, I enjoy doing what I'm doing. And I thought, and I've always shared, I don't keep anything secret, I've always shared everything. Okay, now, I've never given out any figures on the timing wheel, any degree settings, if you like, of the ports or anything, because I never had a timing wheel before, but I've got a timing wheel now, and I can tell you categorically that this, I set the blow down to 103 degrees. Okay, now the reason I'm telling you this is because it's come out showing more power than the 8 horsepower one. Okay, quite a bit more. know, so if anyone wants to sort of have a go at doing what I do, I've pretty much copied this cylinder. It's very similar to this cylinder. All the port work. This is the one that was on this before actually, but I've done it a bit more, slightly more extreme. You know, the piston on this, it's got large windows, but on this one they're slightly bigger, slightly deeper. It's more fragile, the piston. But also, more than anything, the main thing that I've done which is different is I lower the cylinder as low as I can, because obviously if you lower the cylinder, then the angle of the crankshaft, instead of it being instead of it firing from right at the top, it's firing slightly further round, so you can still get power further and further round before it ends its power stroke. That's what I'm trying to say. It's kind of got a longer power stroke. There's more degrees on the crankshaft. If you lower it, then obviously the piston's going to hit the top, right? So what I do to get round it is I grind all around here. Okay, take about a mil off, mil and a half, so that it will still reach the top of the cylinder, but theoretically it'll be higher up in the cylinder, if you like, because I'm making the top section lower. Okay, and that increases torque, and I'm quite surprised actually with the results I've had from this. So what I've done, I'm showing you this silencer because the standard silencer is on this at the moment. Okay, so basically I've done 3 tests on this saw. I've run it with a silencer, a standard silencer, with an extra bit of a hole through the baffle plate, so it's more free flowing. Okay, a standard free flowing silencer. I've then run it with this is the first one I built with a sonic cone inside, and the pipe goes through the sonic cone. Okay, but it's got an extra outlet for gas flow. All right, and then the third one I've run is this one that brought that chainsaw over there up from 6 horsepower to 8 horsepower, this pipe. So I know it works. Sonic cone in the middle, free flow pipe which starts to just covers the exhaust port by about 1/3, maybe a bit more than 1/3, I'm not sure, but you can probably get a glimpse of where I set the pipes. I use the original 2 pipes out of here, those 2, take them out and I reuse them and set them further inside. You might see that. Can you see the pipes? There they are, look. Okay, so they're roughly over the port by about 1/3, maybe 1/4 to 1/3, I don't know exactly, probably 1/3. And then obviously they push out through here, through this pipe and then out. And that pipe, this pipe I knew pushed 2 horsepower on that other saw. Okay, so I've done a test, tested all 3 of these. I've got the results, and obviously ran this saw after it's just been tuned up. Okay, so I'll just show you quickly. You can have a look at your leisure afterwards, but that's basically my power curve on all 3 pipes. Okay, which comes out really good. So and you'll see I've got a pink line down here, which is it goes up and goes across relatively flat. That's the standard muffler, the pink one, and the max power it pushes on this saw is 7.5 horsepower. Okay, and then we go to the twin outlet pipe, which is this one, and that's the green line, which has a similar sort of start. Then it spikes here, look, and it also carries on a bit further at the end. Okay, so that pipe has improved the power, but and it's pushed 9.3 on this chainsaw, this one, 9.3 horsepower. Okay, and also I measured the torque. So the torque on this one is 3.57 pounds-feet. The standard torque, or the standard chainsaw with no modifications, is 3 on these. It's an hours. Okay. The standard pipe, this also came out at 3.532, which was, they're very similar. The torque hasn't really gone up with this one, but it does seem to show power continuing a bit longer. It could be the free flowingness of that actual pipe, you know, because it is free flowing. But the best one, which is this one, which is on the blue line, and as you can see, the blue line is plainly quite a bit higher, and that one comes out at 10.25 horsepower, and it pushes 5.66 pounds-feet of torque. It's got it starts out lower, funny enough, down here, and then it spikes really high until she's peaking, going into 10,000 RPMs. It drops a bit, but here, look, we're still at 7.5 brake. Dips again midway between 11,000, and then it starts spiking up again, 8.68, 8.85, and then continues on. By now we're into the 14,000 RPM speed range, and it's still continuing on, and this is what's given it 10.25 brake horsepower, because it's still got good power at 14,000 RPM. So this pipe compared to them is huge, and on this chainsaw, the standard pipe came out at 7.5, the red one came out at 9.3, so you're looking at like almost two horsepower gain, this is exactly what this did on that other saw. It gave it 2 horsepower, and then on this saw it finished off at 10.25. So you got 9.3, 10.25. okay, so it's gone up from this one. It's still giving an extra and 1 extra horsepower extra between these two, but the torque from this one is massive. 5.66 pounds-feet. You know, it's huge, whereas the torque from this one was very similar to the other one at 3.5. So 3.5 pounds-feet, 3.5 pounds-feet, and 5.66 pounds-feet of torque. So it's really doing well. I'm so surprised, actually. I mean, I knew this was good. But I didn't know it was as good as it is. So consequently this saw that I've just finished building, this is going to go back on that one over there, because this is only going to push 6 horse the way it is without this pipe on it. So this will go back on that. I'm going to build another one of these and put it on this, keep it on this one. So this is going to still be riding at 10.25 horse. So really pleased with this. It's you know, it's a nice chainsaw actually. You know, I'll just give you a little run with it if it'll fire up at the moment. Let's see if it will. I'll give it some stick on here. A lot of smoke. Let's open the doors a little bit. Get some of this smoke out. You can tell by the sound of it, it's really pulling this thing, you know. It's really powerful. Really powerful. The dyno's working really well. The only thing with it really, it's, you know, you have to, I mean, I was running this yesterday quite a bit, this dyno with this saw on, to make sure I could get clear enough videos of the pipes, because I video all my readings. Anyway, came out great. So thank you for watching Lutys Chainsaw Mods. I really hope you've enjoyed this. I'm excited to use this in the wood, but thanks again for watching it. Once again, bye for now.